I really like the Bronco logo. This could be a deal breaker. You're gonna love this. This is great.
Crashy, being a technical term.
This is about as useful as a chocolate fire guard. These plastics are awful. I really like that. This is where I think it looks a little bit weird. I'm Matt and this is the Ford Bronco Sport. This is a 2024 Ford Bronco Sport. You can either get it in a 1.5 litre or 2 litre petrol. This one is a 1.5 litre. This is Ford's offering for a mid-sized SUV. And I'll be comparing this to a Volvo XC60 that we used to own. If you're looking at this SUV, you probably want a small family SUV, or maybe as a second car. I wanted to review the Bronco Sport because we've done 1,000 miles touring around BC on a bit of a ski adventure. Let's start with the outside. Styling wise, I really like the front of the Ford Bronco. It does look pretty aggressive from the front. I really like it. It doesn't look as good as the actual Bronco, which I wish we got in the UK, but I am pretty impressed with the styling on it. I really like the Bronco logo on the front. Light design looks really smart. Not too much of a fan of all of this black plastic down here. Don't like these, which you have to have in America, but we don't get these in Europe. You can have white ones. The wheels are pretty good looking, a nice classic design, and you also get the little Bronco logo on there as well. You'll have to excuse the dirt, we have been using that. I really like this little logo here. I have no idea what it is, but I think it looks the part. Someone might be able to enlighten me in the comments. This is where I think it looks a little bit weird, is this part here. I don't quite get it. It's like it's trying to copy a Land Rover Defender, and I think that bit ruins the look of the SUV. I don't quite get it. It's just this bit, look at it. Just looks weird. Doesn't sit right with me. It just doesn't work, that whole section. From the back though, I quite like that. I like the Bronco Sport logo, nice little Ford badge down there. One thing I do like about cars over here is you don't have to have a number plate on the front, which looks so much better. Rear taillights are nice, they look really smart as well. All in all, apart from this section here, I like the look of the Bronco Sport. The other thing I have to say is I really like the colour. This mineral grey is really smart. It looks really cool. This is a nice little fake vent, but it does look nice. These look a bit cheap and kind of ruined. They'd be nice if they were body coloured. Decent roof bars on top if you want to stick a roof box, roof tent, or your skis on there. Oh, this one also has Continental winter tyres on, which I'll talk about in a moment when we talk about off-road capability. Not great ground clearance at the front if you are planning on taking it off-road. Side ground clearance looks slightly better, but again, doesn't feel very high off the road. All of this is privacy glass, which is helpful because there is no parcel shelf. Looking at the boot, you push that there to open the glass lid, and you push that there to open the boot. Boot wise, I really like this half. I like the fact you can open that. However, and I also like the fact that this opens like that because it can be a little rain protector when you're under here. However, this isn't big enough for me. There is a little torch there as well, which is quite handy. It's not tall enough for me, and I've hit my head on it a couple of times. But one thing I would say, although I like the fact that opens, that's not actually big enough to fit that much stuff through it, so it's kind of pointless. And the other thing that it does, which is annoying, is the actual seeable space when it's dirty is really small because of this tiny windscreen wiper, but obviously that's got to be the right height. So that looks good. In theory is a good idea, but functionally not a fan. So decent storage in the back here. In here, we've travelled from England, so we had a lot of shit with us. 2 big holdalls, a ski bag, a pram, another bag for the child, a load of other stuff. And to be fair, it did all fit with the seats down in here. If you were travelling with 4 people though, we would have needed a bigger car. This boot's literage, I'll pop there, I'm happy with the boot storage. I think it's a sizable switch there, 12-volt socket there, no storage on, no usable storage underneath here except for the spare wheel. And this is awkward to remove. But one thing I would say is this cleaned up pretty nice. I know it looks a little bit dirty now, but you should have seen it an hour ago. Let's jump inside and talk about the interior. And I'm going to start with the things that I hate the most. The first thing is the sun visor. Now you think it looks all right. Look at it. Yeah, it does the job. It's got a little mirror on there. But actually, it doesn't push all the way up because of this stupid little, I'm going to call it a nubbin. This nubbin here stops it from pushing all the way up. So you can't actually get that flat up there like you'd want. Brings me nicely to my second point, which is the seating position. I've done over 1,000 miles in this car and I'm still not happy with the seating position. Usually you can get it sorted straight away, but in this, for some reason, I can't quite get the height right with the pedals and my arm length right all in one. So the second annoying thing about the interior is the seating position. That said, the seats are very comfortable. And with that, the seating position means that where I've settled on, I'm sitting quite high, which has meant that when I've got that down, I actually haven't got very much visibility. And being in Canada at the moment, you can't see the traffic lights up there. So you're either blinded and you can see the traffic lights, or you're not blinded but you can't see when it says to go. The other thing that annoys me about the interior are these bottle holders. Now there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and kind of 6 in the back there, bottle holders, which you think is good, which it is. I like a lot of bottle holders. You've got your coffee, your breakfast shake and your water bottle. These ones are all right for your coffee. However, these ones here are a little bit rubbish and your water bottles fall out into your footwell. And this is the same as my van at home, and the water bottles fall out, and it's like, why can't you just add a bit more sideness to stop them falling out when you turn or you brake? But I have to say, I am happy that there are 6 water bottles because I do feel that you need a minimum of 3 per person in the front. Apart from that, I actually quite like being in this cab. Okay, so the good points of the Bronco Sport interior are, I really like the visual display. That's really clear, really crisp. Reverse camera is really crisp. It's got a bit of mud on it, but really helpful, really useful. That is good. Other things that I like are 2 USB sockets down here, plus 2 more USB sockets in here. Both of those have one normal and one of the smaller types. All the buttons on here really easy to use within minutes. This was very similar to my Ford Transit Custom van. I really like this steering wheel. It's very comfortable. Oh, one more thing that annoys me about this car is some of the plastics. And if you do the scratchy test, there's quite a few cheap plastics in here, which I guess for like a reasonably expensive small SUV is not good enough. In my Ford Transit Custom, the plastics were actually really nice, really good quality. Now there are some nice ones, like this one here feels nice, that feels nice, that doesn't feel too bad there. The steering wheel is just passable. It's not very soft. It is a bit plasticky, but it probably does mean that it will wear quite well. This is very nice here, but some of these, this one and that one specifically, that one really poor form. Steering wheel though, super easy. These buttons here, cruise control, infotainment system, super easy to control. I like the gear selector. I'd prefer an actual handle, but I quite like that one. This one has got low mode, which I'll talk about when we're driving. So park, reverse, neutral, drive and low. It's also got GOAT modes there, which means you can adjust the modes available to you, and you have got normal, eco, sport, slippery and sand, and I'll talk about those a little bit. I've used the slippery function whilst we were in Golden and it was snowing, and I have to say I was very impressed with that, but I will talk about that a little bit more in a moment. This digital display is nice. Another thing I really like is this little pocket here. Perfect for your phone or your sunglasses. Another thing I really like is this sunglasses holder, which is really useful. Decent storage down here. One of the things I did expect it to have was folding mirrors, but it hasn't. You'd think this car would have folding mirrors, to be fair. Maybe it's not a thing in Canada or America. I don't know. Ooh, I really like these, the style and shape of these vents. These are pretty trendy, pretty nice. I like the interior. That's all looks quite hard wearing. Very, as I said, very comfortable. This is a nice Bronco detail on the steering wheel instead of the Ford logo. Whilst we are here, we'll do MPG, and for our plus 1,000-mile trip around Canada, around BC, we have averaged 28.6 miles per gallon, which I actually think is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. And that's been a mixture of highway, so going between Golden, going between Revelstoke, and also a lot of driving around the resorts, hills, a lot of stop-start in the town. So 28.6 miles per gallon, that's pretty good. Yeah, and a decent sized fuel tank. You don't feel like you're at the petrol station the whole time filling up with gas. This one's also got electric seats for the driver, but manual seat for the passenger seat. Automatic lighting, which is always handy so you don't leave your lights on. And the lights are plenty bright enough when you're driving at night, when you're driving in the snow. I thought they were really good quality. Nice little detail here, Bronco detail on the footplate. Nice glove box there, decent storage. I mean, it's not massive, but it will do. Oh, some nice little storage nets here to store a packet of, what would you store in there? To store a packet of pastels, fruit pastels or something, or polos. Good amount of space in the back for a child seat. You could easily fit 2 children's seat in here. It has ISOFIX points as well for your child's chair. One positive I do need to mention was that this, an hour ago, was absolutely covered in children's footprint, and with a quick wipe, this is cleaned off really well, really easily. So that just goes to show that whatever this material is here, it's good quality, and you know, I'm happy with that. I think that will wear really well. Couple more USB sockets down there. Again, one large, one small for charging. That's really helpful on those longer road trips. Legroom for a passenger. I'm 6 foot, 182, and I can just fit behind my driving position, so that's not bad. I did read in some reviews that the space for passengers wasn't very good, but I'm 6 foot and I think this is adequate. I mean, it's not, I've not got buckets of room, but it's okay. Also in the back, you've got another cup holder, but again, these are a little bit naff. Stuff falls out of there, which isn't great. Nice little pull down armrest for the passengers. 2 cup holders there as well. It does have heated seats for both passengers, which are very toasty and when it's cold work really well. Also got AC. Oh, it's ski patrol. Hello, sir.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. I was just filming a bit of a video of this car, if that's all right.
That's totally fine. Yeah, you're in it. That's okay, man.
Is that okay?
Have a good one.
I wasn't up to anything bad, I promise.
It's all good.
He was a nice chap, wasn't he? Right, driving along in this large ski car park, one thing I would criticise the car on is that it feels a little bit crashy. So the suspension, obviously is it supposed to be a sport? It's called a Bronco Sport. I'm not sure if it's sporty. It doesn't feel sporty, it's slow. And you know, it doesn't really handle corners that well. And it is an SUV, so you would imagine that it is a little bit more comfortable off-road, and that's where I've found it to be a little bit difficult. It feels crashy. If you hit a pothole, you know about it, whereas in an SUV, I think you want the potholes to be soaked up.
On the road, handling feels very crashy around bends.
Crashy being a technical term.
I have to say, that when you are cruising along up to the ski resort, when it's snowy, and I know this has Continental winter tyres on, which does make a difference, but in the snow, it felt really controlled and actually didn't slip once. When we picked it up from Calgary, there was like a couple of inches of snow on the ground, and it immediately was confidence inspiring. So the four-wheel drive system in this actually feels very capable, and the goat mode for slippery, I stuck it in that and I thought it was brilliant in Calgary. It was like sheet ice everywhere, snow everywhere, didn't skip a beat, dirt roads, tracks, it's been brilliant on all of those things. The only downside is the suspension is a little bit crashy. It's a little bit too stiff for an SUV. On the highway, the Bronco Sport is a comfy cruiser. Nice and quiet, easy to drive, and it is a smooth ride as long as you don't hit a pothole.
Crashy.
One thing I have noticed is the start-stop function can feel a little bit sleepy and a little bit sluggish. So you'll come to a set of traffic lights, you'll stop, engine turns off, and then you accelerate to go away, and it's like the car's having a little nap and it just doesn't do anything, and then it's like 1, 2, oh, now I'll turn on and go. Unlike our BMW 1 Series that is like laser fast. Round town, it's nice and sprightly, nice and quick, nice and nippy. It's not fast, but it is nippy. It stops well. All in all, it's a good little city SUV, and it's good for cruising around for long distance journeys as well. In conclusion, would I buy a Ford Bronco Sport? I think it's a great small SUV. I really like the styling on the front of it. I don't like the styling on the back of it. I can forgive this sunshade for not going all the way back to the glass, and I can also forgive the seating position because it is still quite comfortable to drive, even though I can't quite get that perfect feeling. Yes, I would buy one of these, and one of the main reasons I would is because of the four-wheel drive system. That has really impressed me, and I think if you live somewhere where you get a lot of snow, if you do want to take it up some dirt tracks and feel confident that you're going to not get stuck, then this does do that really well. It's spacious for a small family. The three of us, 4 big bags and a ski bag have all fitted in really well. So all in all, it does tick all those family small SUV boxes. Miles per gallon, we're now averaging 29 miles per gallon, which I think is pretty handy. I do wish it was a little bit quicker, a little bit nippier. So yes, I would buy one of these. I would also take a look at an XC40 Volvo or an XC60, which might be slightly bigger. I'd also take a look at a Land Rover Discovery Sport. I wouldn't buy a Land Rover Discovery Sport because they just break down. Our Volvo XC60 we had was brilliant in the snow, so I would recommend having a look at those. But I think styling wise, this does look better, and I love the American kind of classic throwback to the old Bronco styling. One thing I would say is this has been a brilliant car for our Canadian road trip around the Canadian Rockies, and it's been quite a nice part of the trip having this vehicle to drive around in. I will remember this car fondly. Thanks for watching this video. Tune in more for some reviews and some van build 4x4 content, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.